Since you are mostly painters and the poets who usually come to poetry readings aren't here, I will read older poems and ones that I might not be familiar with, and those who have heard them before just have to listen to them again. I don't have my first book here, but I have my second book, however, The Tennis Court Oath, and so I'll start and read a few from that. Here's a sestina, which, if anyone doesn't know what it is a poem of 6 line stanzas wherein the words at the end of each of the lines are repeated in a sort of fixed pattern to give a kind of fugal effect. The words that are repeated in this poem are reappearing, opera, Faust, phantom, hungers, and begin. The poem is called Faust. If only the phantom would stop reappearing. Business, if you wanted to know, was punk at the opera. The heroine no longer appeared in Faust. The crowd strolled sadly away. The phantom watched them from the roof, not guessing the hungers that must be stirred before disappointment can begin. One day, as morning was about to begin, a man in brown with a white shirt reappearing at the bottom of his yellow vest was talking hungers with a silver-haired director of the opera. On the green-carpeted floor, no phantom appeared, except yellow squares of sunlight like those in Faust. That night, as the musicians for Faust were about to go on strike, lest darkness begin in the corridors, and through them the phantom glide unobstructed, the vision reappearing of blonde Marguerite practicing a new opera at her window awoke terrible new hungers in the already starving tenor. But hungers are just another topic, like the new Faust drifting through the tunnels of the opera in search of lost old age, for they begin to notice a twinkle in his eye. It is cold daylight reappearing at the window behind him, itself a phantom window painted by the phantom scene painters, sick of not getting paid, of hungers for a scene below of tiny reappearing dancers with a sandbag falling like a note in Faust through purple air, and the spectators begin to understand the bleeding tenor star of the opera. That night the opera was crowded to the rafters. The phantom took 29 curtain calls. Begin, begin. In the wings the tenor hungers for the heroine's convulsive kiss, and Faust moves forward, no longer young, reappearing and reappearing for the last time. The opera Faust would no longer need its phantom. On the bare sunlit stage the hungers could begin. I'll read some later ones. This is from Rivers and Mountains, which was published in '66. I always feel more at home with my more recent work, lose touch with the older. These lacustrine cities grew out of loathing into something forgetful, although angry with history. They are the product of an idea that man is horrible, for instance, though this is only one example. They emerged until a tower controlled the sky, and with artifice dipped back into the past for swans and tapering branches, burning until all that hate was transformed into useless love. Then you are left with an idea of yourself and the feeling of ascending emptiness of the afternoon, which must be charged to the embarrassment of others who fly by you like beacons. The night is a sentinel. Much of your time has been occupied by creative games until now, but we have all-inclusive plans for you. We had thought, for instance, of sending you to the middle of the desert, to a violent sea, or of having the closeness of the others be air to you, pressing you back into a startled dream as sea breezes greet a child's face. But the past is already here, and you are nursing some private project. The worst is not over, yet I know you will be happy here, because of the logic of your situation, which is something no climate can outsmart. Tender and insouciant by turns, you see you have built a mountain of something, thoughtfully pouring all your energy into this single monument, whose wind is desire starching a petal, whose disappointment broke into a rainbow of tears.